Most of us want to retire comfortably, but we're constantly being held back by an invisible barrier, and it's not what you think. Defined benefit and defined contribution plans alike are hamstrung by underfunding and solvency gaps that put promised payouts at risk. Assumed return targets frequently fall short, shrinking your projected nest egg without warning. Rising life expectancy and persistent inflation quietly erode purchasing power, making it all too easy to outlive your benefits. Opaque fees and rigid investment lineups stifle growth and leave you exposed to market shifts, all of which can leave you wondering, how much do I really have, and how long will it last? The good news is, there are ways to fix this. Hi, I'm the co-founder and CEO of a financial company. We help people build, manage, and protect their wealth. And in today's video, I'll be running through some of the key challenges that most people face when it comes to their retirement savings and how you can overcome them. First up, let's talk about funding gaps. Pension funds everywhere are struggling to meet their obligations, and it's creating major headaches for both sponsors and participants. Sponsors, because they have to pony up more cash to make up the difference. And participants, well, because it means your promised pension payout could be cut if the fund does get back on track. Right now, Canadian pension funds are only 85% funded, and that's less than they were last year, according to the 2022 Canadian Pension Report, card from the Centre for Effective Retirement. On top of that, the report found that 46% of defined contribution plans are unsaving enough to replace even half of the income they need to maintain their standard of living in retirement. This shortfall isn't just due to recent market volatility. It reflects years of low interest rates that have left pension funds with a big headache. You see, pension funds invest members' contributions in an effort to reach a target portfolio return, often referred to as an assumed rate of return. When interest rates are higher, it's easier to generate returns since bonds, which tend to be pretty reliable, offer decent yields. But in a low interest rate environment like the one we've been in for quite a while, these investments just don't offer the same level of return. And that makes it harder to close the funding gap and leave smaller balances for retirees. According to a recent survey by BMO, 44% of Canadians say they re-worried that their pension won't be there when they need it. And that concern is warranted given that 2/3 of Canadian retirees rely at least partially on their pension income. The next challenge is longevity. As people are living longer, and that's a great thing, but it does pose a problem for those relying on pensions. See, most pensions are calculated based on a life expectancy of around age 90. But with modern healthcare advancements and a greater focus on wellness, the average lifespan keeps increasing. According to Statistics Canada, the average 65-year-old man can expect to live until 83.8, while the average 65-year-old woman can expect to live until 87.2. That means many pensioners are outliving their expected benefits. What's worse, life expectancy has been going up every year, and it could continue to increase, meaning the gap between expected and actual longevity could widen even further. This issue is particularly pressing for those who retired early or took early retirement benefits. Early retirement reduces the number of years the plan can collect payments, assuming a normal retirement age of 65. For every year that you take early retirement, you lose about 6% of your guaranteed lifetime income. So you either have to work longer, delay taking CPP and OAS benefits, or pony up more cash to make up the difference. Okay, let's talk about inflation. It's been in the headlines a lot lately, and for good reason. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of your money, meaning that $1 million today won't go as far down the road, according to a recent study by Fidelity. It would take almost $2.4 million to replace $1 million of purchasing power in 30 years due to inflation. So the million you thought would last you throughout retirement may not actually go as far as you hope. What's worse, traditional fixed annuities typically don't offer protection against inflation, meaning your purchasing power could decline over time. This is especially concerning when you consider that the vast majority of Canadians say they would need at least $1 million to retire. And many of us will require even more to maintain our desired lifestyle. Even if you end up with more than you think you'll need, inflation means that the value of that sum will shrink over time, unless you have it invested in assets that keep pace with inflation. Okay, let's talk about fees. They can eat into your investment returns, slowing the growth of your nest egg. It can be tough to know how much you should be paying. I mean, just look at this. Investment management fees for mutual funds range from about 1 to 2.5%, while those for ETFs run from 0.2 to 0.7%. But even though fees seem small, they can add up over time, especially when you consider that the average mutual fund investor has paid 1.69% in fees annually over the past decade, and it gets worse. Most people don't know exactly what they're paying in fees. Almost half of respondents in a recent survey couldn't even name the fees that are taken from their RSP, while almost 3/4 didn't know the fees associated with their non-registered accounts. What's more, the vast majority of people are open to paying higher investment returns in exchange for lower fees. But here's the catch. The investment industry operates under a fee-first model, where high fees are the default and investors have to ask for lower fee options. In fact, in a recent blog post, Morningstar found that 80% of mutual funds with net flows had above-average fees compared to their category. With so much complexity and opacity surrounding fees, it's no wonder so many people are confused. And finally, we have rigidity. Many people feel limited by the choices available to them, whether it's the lack of flexibility with investments or the inability to access funds when needed. See, defined benefit plans generally invest in a fixed mix of assets, typically a mix of stocks, bonds, and cash. And that mix is usually set by the plan sponsor. Meanwhile, defined contribution plans often come with a small menu of investment options, limiting your ability to tailor a portfolio to your needs. And this lack of flexibility can be problematic for a few reasons. First, it can limit your ability to take advantage of market opportunities. If you can only invest in a handful of options, you may miss out on the best investments, especially if they're outside your plan's narrow menu. Second, a lack of flexibility can also make it difficult to rebalance your portfolio when market conditions change. Rebalancing is an important part of managing risk and ensuring that your portfolio stays aligned with your goals. But if you're stuck with a limited menu of investments, you may struggle to do this effectively. Finally, the lack of control over investments can be concerning for those nearing retirement. As you enter your golden years, you may want to shift your focus from growth to preservation of capital. But if your plan doesn't offer the flexibility to make that shift, you may end up taking on more risk than you're comfortable with. So what can you do to overcome these challenges and protect your financial future? First, boost your contributions. Every dollar you contribute to your pension plan is a dollar that can grow tax-sheltered and receive employer-matching contributions. Check in with your HR department to see what matching contributions your employer offers and aim to contribute at least enough to take full advantage of these free funds. You can always reduce your contributions later if you find yourself in a tight spot financially. Second, diversify into equities. Equities have historically outperformed other asset classes over the long term, and they can help you build a larger nest egg faster. Consider boosting your equity allocation, especially as you near retirement. That way, you'll be better positioned to weather market downturns and take advantage of market rebounds. Just remember to balance your risk exposure with your comfort level. Third, use inflation-linked vehicles such as inflation-protected bonds, inflation-indexed annuities, and real estate investment trusts. These vehicles can help you protect your purchasing power and maintain your standard of living throughout retirement. Fourth, build a personal investment buffer. It's having a personal investment buffer. Alongside, your pension can help you bridge the gap between what your pension provides and what you need to maintain your desired standard of living. Plus, having a personal investment buffer gives you more control over your investments and can provide peace of mind knowing that you have additional funds to fall back on. Remember, it's never too early or too late to start planning for your retirement. By taking steps today, you can help secure your financial future and enjoy your retirement with greater confidence. We hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please drop us a comment below or book a complimentary call with our team. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content. Thanks for watching.